All right, everybody, welcome. I'm Dr. Darren Mills at Freedom Whole Health. My telephone number is 502-410-1270. And I'll give you my website, www.freedomwholehealth.com. Today, we're going to talk about aging and consciously taking back the aging process. Because if we don't know what to do, then things just tend to happen. And I'm all for learning new things to extend the quality of my life. I like having numbers of years, but only if they're quality. So I'm gonna talk a lot about that here in the next. I'm hoping to get 20 minutes out of this. I don't know that I will, but we're gonna work at it. And I guess the million-dollar question is, can we have an impact on our own aging process? And I believe the answer is yes. My mother died when she was 60 years old, and I'm 53. And so you already know I'm doing the math. And my grandfather, her father, died at 60 years old. And both of them, my mother had lots and lots of problems, um, lots and lots of addiction and smoking nicotine cigarettes like they're going out of style. Both of them, and like they were air. And I don't recommend that because it's when you do it a lot, especially, it can really create a problem. Um, okay, let's see here. I also want to talk about just real quick, and this isn't to make fun, but it's to just note. I was in Wendy's probably about 10 years ago, and this lady was at the cashier or whatever, and she said, "I remember you. You were over on Slayton Court." And I was thinking, whose mom is this? And I think I've talked about this before, but maybe not lately. And I'll be darned, it was this little girl that was 4 years younger than me when I lived over there, and just couldn't believe my eyes. It was very surreal. Um, and another example, I used to live on this street few blocks over, and a lady when I moved in, she looked my age, and she smoked and drank all the time. And when I was about ready to move out, she came over. And I thought, my God, this lady looks 20 years older than me. And it was just harsh. And it just goes to show you that what we do to ourselves and what we do for ourselves makes all the difference. I believe it. I hope it does, because otherwise I got 7 years. And so so anyway, that's that. I want to talk about health span versus lifespan. And, lifespan is, again, it's a chronological thing, and health span is looking at it from a different perspective. It's looking at how much health do I have? What kind of quality of life can I continue to have? And if I keep on treating my body and putting things in my body that what I'm currently doing. And I'm much rather focus on health span than lifespan. And I was in the looking at my research today. It said age is. Let me look at it now. Age is nothing more than a risk factor. So it has. It's like anything else. It's just one factor among a ton of other factors that go into this health span issue that we've got. Um, this is kind of a joke, but I think it's worth saying. And I've always said that I wanted to continue to do all the things that I want to do and get hit by a bus when I'm in my 80s or 90s. And I'm, you know, uh, mostly joking, but I did buy an electric scooter this week, so that might make that happen. I'm going to use it all around town, and I'm going to use it when I go on vacations to these other cities and travel all over the city with these other, to see it in a different way. And but I don't plan on getting hit by a bus, but who knows? So I'm gonna try to share a picture. Yeah. Hopefully you all can see this. I don't know if y'all can see this. Can y'all see this taking back control of the aging process?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So the goal is to have a sharp and dramatic decline in function at the end of life. So the goal is to not have any, a very limited decline in function all the way up until you're 99 years old and then you just die. And what we want to avoid is a slow and steady decline in function of suboptimal aging. And that's where you go down, 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 down. And you're just, death is a function of dis-ease of the disease process. And trying to get, I think that is the key, is to get our cells to be in such a way that they are not nearly as subject to disease. So, okay, hopefully that was a good visual for you. I like that visual, so that's why I wanted to share that. There we go. Okay. Now, there are, I wanted to say that physical changes of aging are not the same as diseases of aging. And I think I kind of already talked about that, but we are going to have physical changes. We are all going to die, but we don't have to be in a chronic disease state. And that is my whole purpose in being here on Breckenridge Lane, is to help people realize they don't have to be in a disease state when you get older. You don't, it's not necessary. And so that's if I can shout it from the rooftops, then I'll do it. So I'm going to tell you some of the hallmarks of aging. This was what this person coined, that I went to see. His name is Arland Hill. He's out of Texas, and that I've kind of got an inside joke with that, but I'll just keep that to myself. And he's a great guy. It wasn't about him at all, but it is a little bit about his name. But I really liked him, and I liked what he had to say. He had a lot of good things to say. So I'm going to hit on some of the more, I thought, a little bit more straightforward and easier to understand hallmarks of aging that he's talked about. And one of them is gene instability. And when your genetics the coding starts getting messed up, that is a hallmark of aging. And that can happen from an external factor, such as, let's just give an example, Agent Orange in a war situation. When people get exposed to that, it changes your ability for your genes to keep being stable. And you develop things like cancers. Another thing is internal, and that's just DNA replication errors, and that could be anything from eating a lot of foods that are substandard, like prepackaged stuff, and stuff from the inner aisles of the store, um, and things of that nature, which we're going to talk more about that here in a minute. Another thing that he talked about was telomere attrition. And I don't know if you all know what telomeres are, but But anyway, the people that are here, if you have any questions about it afterwards, maybe we can have a roundtable discussion about it. But it's the ends of your chromosomes, and the shorter they are, supposedly, they can measure these things, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's probably under some sort of electron microscope, and they can tell if your telomeres are short or if they're long. If they're longer, you're much more prone to live a longer life because your DNA is still replicating in a way that it needs to replicate. Um, let's see here. The length of telomeres is preserved by nutrients such as magnesium and vitamin D. And a silver bullet, I think, for us all is to find a high quality multivitamin, because that's what one of the things that he talked about is that telomeres shorten because of nutrient deficiencies. If you're and certainly vitamins aren't the total answer, but a needed answer these days. We are not going to be able to get all of the vitamins and minerals out of foods because the soil is horrible right now, horrible, and they are not trying to make it better yet. Maybe they will in the next 4 to 10 years, but it's going to take 10 years, even if they start trying now. It's going to take 10 years. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
Hey, just so you know, we are recording, and you will be able to look at this on YouTube later for the parts you missed. So,
Fantastic. Thank you.
yeah. So, yeah, deficiency of nutrients leads to disease, and I would say one of the things, it doesn't help to stress out about it, because I think that leads to nutrient deficiencies. The more we stress out over things, the more deficient we get robbed of nutrients. So keeping calm, keeping collected is a great way to keep our health and our health span going. So another thing that they talked about as a hallmark of aging is disabled autophagy. And what autophagy is it's the cells that die. It's their ability to be cleaned out, the cellular debris to be cleaned out of the body. And if that can't happen, then chronic inflammation can happen. It's the ability for the cells to be cleaned up. Yeah, I said that. I would say processed foods are related to that. Of just it's like a toxic. Your body starts getting toxic because your cells that die are no, they're just kind of lingering and hanging out inside of your cellular tissue, and so it's just it's going to create bad things. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is deregulated nutrient sensing. Um, Deregulated nutrient sensing is insulin resistance. It can get deregulated. And when that happens, you're going to have unrestrained inflammation. And I wanted to talk about, just real quick, type 3 diabetes um, is they're calling Alzheimer's and dementia another type of blood sugar problem. It's this ultimately leading to brain cognition problems. So so it's something to think about. Something to think about, that we put refined carbs at a minimum. Um, Focus on, at the very least, more complex carbs. I believe in that. More whole foods. So we'll do a quick commercial for myself. Again, thanks everybody for coming. My name is Dr. Darren Mills with Freedom Whole Health, and I'm at 201 Breckenridge Lane, Suite 202 in Louisville, Kentucky. Phone number 502-410-1270. If you like what I'm doing, please come in and use one of my services. Tell somebody about me. Tell somebody about that I'm trying to keep people healthy, that I spend extra time unpaid to do research and come on to Zoom and tell people. And I think that's it. It's just telling people coming. I appreciate you coming. I really, it's very encouraging to see people here. And thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with me. So now I want to talk about some silver bullets of, and this is just going to be a couple of quick tips on, kind of talked about the problems, and now let's talk about some of the solutions. And one of the solutions that was talked about in my research when I went to that seminar is L-carnitine. And I really have never used L-carnitine. I don't know too much about L-carnitine, but what was mentioned there is carnitine comes from carnivore. And so I'm guessing it's probably a meat source. And so it's protein, it's an amino acid. But 2 grams 2 times a day is what is recommended. And that can be for elderly people and frail and fragile people. It can make a huge difference in their lives. So L-carnitine, if you haven't tried it, might want to try it. I'm gonna try it. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna try it. It optimizes fatty acid oxidation. I don't exactly know what that means, but I'm guessing it probably helps your fatty acids absorb into your body better. And I want to talk about, too, a person would not need to take L-carnitine if they're getting enough protein. And I will say just real quick, there's a certain person in the group who loves protein, and I believe it's 1 gram per pound of body weight. And now I think I heard 0.75 grams of protein per pound of body weight for women. So it's 1 gram per pound of body weight for men, 0.75 grams per pound of body weight for women. So if I weigh 185 pounds, that would mean I need 185 grams of protein. And someone told me that here on this thing, and I believe that was what I was told, but it was also seconded by this gentleman who I went to see. The guy who I went to see, he said, this morning I went to the restaurant that here at the hotel, and the waiter asked me what I wanted, and I said, I want 8 eggs. And so he just really taken aback by it. And that he brought him 8 eggs. And he said, you'll never believe how much those 8 eggs cost. I knew it was going to be a lot of money. $24 for 8 eggs. And he paid it. So anyhow, I did ask him if he was carnivore, and this gentleman said no, he's not, but he tries to get that much protein, but he also adds vegetables and fruits in with what he's doing. Now, that being said, enzymes or hydrochloric acid, I think I wanted to mention that because that eating that much protein may be hard to digest for some people. A hydrochloric acid supplement can help break down that protein better. You want to have enough acid in your stomach in order to break down foods. also food enzymes help break down foods. So if you needed or wanted to get either of those kinds of supplements, please give me a call and I can set you up. And I wanted to talk too about anabolic versus catabolic. Um, well, I don't know what the exact words is, but for lack of a better word, metabolism, I guess. Anabolic is when you're still building your muscle, you're building bone, you're building more than what's getting, for lack of a better word, destroyed through the aging process. So we have to consciously try to be anabolic in order for to keep that, that line going straight rather than down, like we had showed earlier. And so Ben, you'll be able to see that as you get on YouTube. Um, so many people get into a catabolic state where they just let nature take its course and don't try to fight against the current, because the current is going to take you wherever it takes you unless you swim. So I think we should swim. Lastly, I want to talk about exercise. And he talked about fast twitch versus slow twitch muscle fibers. And I hadn't thought of this in a long, long time about what all that means and how to engage those. So fast twitch muscle fibers have to do with speed, obviously. So things that engage fast twitch muscle fibers are things like jumping jacks, doing explosive squats where you go down into a squat and explode up and lift your hands up in the air as fast as you can. I can't ever think of what they're called, but basically where you get down on your hands and you do a push up and then you get back up and stand up would be more of a fast twitch exercise.
Burpees.
Burpees, thank you. Yes, burpees. Yeah, I hate those. I hate burpees, but they are good for you, and I need to do more of them. Now that I know the name again, I'm motivated. So speaking of that, I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. I'm gonna take that off. Here. Ben and I have been going on Thursdays to work out. Thank you, Ben, for that. And one thing also that he had talked about at the seminar was get that everybody should be able to hang for at least 30 seconds on a pull-up bar. So I've been doing that, been back to doing that. And I installed my heavy bag in my garage Sunday and worked out for half an hour, just hitting it. And again, not trying to kill myself or kill the bag or anything. Those days are long gone, but seeing how fast I can hit it, trying to get some coordination and balance again. And it was fun-ish. I will say exercise to me is not necessarily fun. It can be made more fun. Uh, and I know it's absolutely necessary to consciously take back the aging process. So I hope this was inspiring to people. I hope this was good information for people. And with that, I'm going to end the recording. Hold on just a moment.